Hey guys, good morning and welcome. I'm just rebuilt my MTC2 front wheel drive, ready for the indoor season. There was a few questions on how to balance the car on the forum, so I thought I'd show you how I do mine. There was a comment about these little thingies from RC Maker that you take the spring off and you click this over the shock shaft, and then you've got an equal length shock shaft. I don't like them. I don't use them anymore. I tried them. The way I was told by Ronald was you never drive without your springs. So why would you tweak the car and weight the car without your springs on? So yeah, tried them. If you want to use them, it's your hobby. Enjoy. I don't use them. Okay. This is how I weight balance and tweak my car. Okay. First thing I do is I will use my weight pins, yeah, in the front and the rear holes, yeah. Then I know that left and right I've got the weight correct where I want it. And what you can do as well is I don't have them printed out on my chassis protection plate, but there is 5 holes on each side for weight balance, front, rear, left, right. Let me just show you on a aluminium touring car chassis what I mean. Here they are. On the touring car it's 50-50, 51-49, 52-48. Okay, for weight balance, front, rear. Obviously each one corresponds to front or rear. And it's exactly the same on the fronty, but on the fronty it starts at 65-35 and then 1% each way. Once I've got my weight balance where I want it, I then tweak the car using these from RC Maker. Yeah, you screw them onto the wheel hexes, and then when you lift the car at the back with a 1.5, you'll see that one will turn quicker than the other. That then allows you to tweak the front springs, and then I swap them around. Yeah, put the car this way around, put them on the front, and triangle car stands on the rear, and then tweak the rear. Once that's then done, I get my weight scales when I can find them. Yeah, I get my weight scales and I put each wheel on the weight scales and I just check to make sure everything's okay. 9 times out of 10, because I've done the weight balance and then tweaking the springs with the RC Maker things, it's 100%. Sometimes a little bit of tweaking with the springs to get spring weights is needed, but not normally. So that's how I do mine. How you do yours is, yeah, up to you. But I've found if I do it that way, the car is the same every time. And I found with these things, I would get a different response sometimes with using them. And what I've also done is with the MTC2, with the modern touring cars, with the A lower arm and the A upper arm, and not like the old one with the C hub and the steering hub, we can now add shims underneath the steering hubs here. Yeah, and this will affect your droop without affecting your droop screw. So if you measure it with the hoodie gauge, you may still have your 6 and your 5 or whatever you've got them at, front and rear. But actually what you change is you change axle height, which is changing the droop from the tyre. So I bought this thing from Arox, and what you do is you put these on the wheel axle, and then you measure your droop under here. Yeah, under this bit, and then you can see how many millimeters of droop you've got. Normally I do that when I build the car, and then measure it under the suspension arm and note it on my setup sheet, and then when I'm at the track, I'll leave this in my bag unless I decide to change the shims under here. This is all because of, like, if you get a 0.5 millimeter shim, some of them are 0.4, 0.38, and the other side can be 5.2 or 0.52, 53, 54. So that gives a little bit of difference in left and right. Do you feel it on the track? Meh, I don't know. I don't. But it just gives me peace of mind to know that the car is built right. What else? Don't know. You may notice that I do have the MTC2R, rebuilt it as my fronty. So I have the adaptive shock towers built in to the bulkheads, like we did. The caster is adjustable here on these two screws now, and not here, using the Mugen Psyche pieces. We put them in here, slide the bulkhead brace backwards and forwards. I've got the new drive shafts in with the ball bearings. They're lovely. They work really, really well. The only thing we do need to do with the fronty is we need to keep the motor mount for the servo and the motor positioning, and we keep the old steering system. I did modify an old motor mount, and I cut it off just in front of the motor so that I could put the MTC2R servo mount and steering system on. But because the fronty has got the steering further forward than the touring car anyway, we ended up having so much Ackerman that the car was really difficult to drive. It's so much steering. That's it really. I've got these tyres on. These are MB Models tyres because me and a couple of friends are going over to the EWS International in a month. So I want to get some training on these. Apparently they're quite different to the new ETS ride wheels. So I want to get some training on them and see how the car responds. Obviously I've got the new wheel hexes on from the R. I run 4mm indoors. I am running the MR33 -1mm front arms, standard rear arms. That's my car. If you need any more information, want any more help, give us a shout on YouTube or on Facebook, and yeah, I'll see if I can help. You know, I'm not the best driver in the world, but I do like to help if I can. And yeah, let me know. Cheers, boys.